Cleopatra, with her extraordinary life and influential reign, continues to captivate our imagination. While her political prowess and strategic alliances have been widely studied, her intimate life remains a subject of fascination and intrigue. Behind the veils of history and myth, Cleopatra's personal relationships, romantic affairs, and unconventional choices reveal a woman who defied societal norms and wielded her sexuality as a tool of power. In this exploration of Cleopatra's intimate life, we'll uncover some truly fascinating and insane facts that shed light on her legendary allure and prowess as a lover. From her infamous liaisons with the most powerful men of her time, to her unorthodox methods of seduction, Cleopatra's romantic escapades were the stuff of legends. What drove her to pursue such audacious connections, risking her throne and even her life? What made her so irresistible that men were willing to lay down their empires for her affection? Love beyond borders. Cleopatra's love life was an incredible masterpiece, bursting with colors and flavors just like her kingdom. She ruled with an iron fist and was not afraid to dive into relationships with powerful men from all walks of life. Truth be told, those connections were no joke. They were game changers that rewrote the history books. She had crazy romances with big-time names like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, and not just some flings that would fade away. These were epic tales that shook the world. Cleopatra knew how to cast her spell, capturing the hearts of these legendary military leaders. It's as though she had a magnetic force that drew them to her. Cleopatra was on a whole different level when it came to seduction and charm. I'm talking about unparalleled allure and the power that can make even the mightiest of men fall to their knees. It's no secret that her allure was no joke. They say that just one look from those captivating eyes could ignite a fire in your soul. Men would go crazy, willing to do anything for her love. I'm talking about sailing across oceans, starting wars, and everything in the name of Cleopatra. It's as though she had a supernatural power that could control hearts, and once you were caught in her web, there was no escape. Men would become her devoted servants, ready to do whatever it took to please her, and she had them all wrapped around her finger. A strategic union. The bond between Cleopatra and Julius Caesar was no ordinary love story. It was an entire different level of romance, driven by Cleopatra's fierce determination to protect her throne and keep Egypt free. She knew that Julius Caesar had power and influence, so she used every trick in the book to capture his attention. Cleopatra was a mastermind when it came to politics and playing the game. She knew exactly how to work her charms and intelligence to win over Julius Caesar. It was like watching a chess game, but with hearts at stake. She knew that she could get Julius Caesar on her side. She would have the ultimate defense against any threats to her kingdom. And her success was abundant. She pulled off serious strategic moves, using her irresistible allure to wrap Julius Caesar around her finger, creating an unbeatable partnership. Not only did it secure her position on the throne, but it sent a message to the entire world that Egypt was not to be messed with. Cleopatra was not only fighting for herself, she was also fighting for the independence and stability of her people. This was not just some fling, it was a declaration of her unwavering commitment to Egypt. She knew that with Julius Caesar by her side, she could protect her kingdom and keep invaders at bay. Love in the time of war. After Julius Caesar's assassination, things became rough for Egypt, but Cleopatra managed to find comfort in the arms of Mark Antony, a mastermind in the Roman military. Talk about a power couple. Their love story was not exactly a walk in the park, though, as it would blossom right in the middle of the chaos happening in the world. Cleopatra had an otherworldly charm that drew Mark Antony in like a moth to a flame. It's intriguing. The world they lived in was a mess. Alliances were shifting left and right, and everyone was out for themselves. But Cleopatra and Mark Antony did not care about societal rules or political rivalries. They stuck together through thick and through thin. These two had a connection that went well beyond time and place, as though they were made for each other. Their love was strong, built on shared beliefs and unwavering loyalty. Cleopatra had an aura that could make anyone weak in the knees, and her strategic partnership with Antony would shake the entire Roman Empire. The Queen of Extravagance. Cleopatra never held back when it came to showing her love and admiration for her partners. She knew how to make a statement and go all out. I'm talking about over-the-top gestures, because she was larger than life and she wanted her romantic endeavors to match it. When Cleopatra wanted to woo her lovers, she went all in, holding nothing back. She threw epic feasts that were straight out of a dream, hosted the finest food from around the world, the top-notch wine, and entertainment that would leave everyone speechless. It was as though you would be stepping into a completely different world, but it didn't end there. Cleopatra was all about spoiling her partners rotten. She showered them with gifts that would make your head spin, from precious jewels that could blind you to fancy artifacts that scream sophistication, and even entire estates and fancy boats. She went all out to show just how deeply she cared. The Love Boat. Amongst the tales that reverberate all throughout history, one stands out as an emblematic moment in her romantic saga, her legendary encounter with Mark Antony on the shimmering waters of the River Cydnus. Cleopatra, with her eyes set on conquering Antony's heart, went all out to make the encounter unforgettable. She planned a spectacle that would go down in history, like a blockbuster movie. She hopped on a fancy golden barge that screamed luxury all around. It was decked out with gems and jewels, and the air all around was full with the intoxicating scent of exotic perfumes. As the barge glided through the water, Cleopatra would work her magic. She wanted to cast a spell on Antony that would not shake off. The entire show was very well crafted and all about grabbing Antony's attention and sweeping him off of his feet and into a world of endless indulgence. And when the moment arrived, she emerged from the barge, looking as though a vision had been sent from the gods. She was majestic and drop-dead gorgeous. The entire scene was straight out of a fairy tale, leaving everyone in awe. The encounter became the moment that would define their love story, one that would be forever etched in the minds of everyone as a symbol of the mind-blowing power of love. Happily never after. Cleopatra had tried everything to secure her position by getting cozy with Mark Antony, but their love story would take a dark turn, ending in complete tragedy. After suffering defeat in the Battle of Actium, life would become tough for them, and in the face of everything, Cleopatra made a heartbreaking decision to end her own life by becoming eaten by a venomous snake. Here's where things get even more crazy, though. Mark Antony believed a false rumor that Cleopatra had died. He was so crushed that he stabbed himself in the chest with a sword. But at the moment that he was about to meet his maker, another messenger would arrive to inform him that Cleopatra was in fact still alive. Talk about a cruel twist of fate. And so, it's said that Mark Antony mustered up his last bit of strength and was carried to Cleopatra's hideout, where he took his final breath, telling her to make peace with Octavian, who had won the battle. Octavian was no fool, though, and in the face of Cleopatra attempting to perform her charms upon him, he would resist her seduction game and not fall for all of her tricks. Cleopatra then knew that there was no escape from Octavian's clutches, so she took control of her own fate and went out with a bang. It's said that she had let a venomous snake, which is said to have symbolized divine royalty, end her life, and effectively she would go out on her own terms. In the end, Cleopatra's story is a tragic tale about fighting for independence and refusing to bow down to any conqueror. She will forever be remembered as a fierce queen who went out with a rebel yell, blazing her own trail and leaving an unforgettable mark upon history.